Hey everybody, Mr. Taylor here with your e-learning lesson for April the 17th. We're going to finish up our discussion on tractors and the different types of tractors and the considerations that you should make when choosing a particular type of tractor for a particular task. We left off, on Wednesday talking about soil compaction and the role that tractors and farm equipment play in that. And that's something that we have to be more mindful of today than we have in past years, just because the size and scale of the equipment that we use today is so much larger and the tractors are so much heavier. To kind of give you an idea of what the weight distribution is for a particular task, you'll notice a lot of variation here, and it depends on number one, the type of tractor, and number two, the type of implement. So you see there first a two-wheel drive trailing implement. So if we've got a tractor that just has the rear wheels turning, okay, and not the front wheels, and the implement is being pulled by the tractor, 75% of the weight is at the back of the tractor, 25 is at the front. Now, if we've got a two-wheel drive semi-mounted implement, meaning that it's mounted on a three-point hitch type of setup, you're looking at a 70% rear weight distribution, 30% on the front. And if it's fully mounted, it's 65-35. So you can make a big difference just on mounting that equipment instead of just towing it behind the tractor. If you're looking at a front wheel assist tractor, which is where the front wheels are assisting the tractor in pulling, they're not pulling an equal load as the rear wheels. You're looking at a 40-60 mix and a front wheel assist with a mounted implement getting closer to 50-50, 45 on the front, 55 on the rear. If you've got a four-wheel drive trailing implement, so a four-wheel drive tractor pulling, say, a field cultivator or something like that, you're looking at 55 in the front, 45 in the back. So four-wheel drive makes a big difference. So keeping your tires inflated correctly is vital. Um, Basically, we have to make sure that we're getting enough contact area on that tire. If the tire is underinflated, we're going to get too much contact area. If it's overinflated, we're not going to get enough. So we want to make sure that we're maximizing our efficiency in terms of how we inflate our tires. And it depends on the size of the tire, the type of tire, the number of tires, and then what the PSI within those tires actually is. So the factors that we should consider when we're selecting a tractor for a particular job, the weight of the tractor. If we're looking at a pretty heavy load, we're going to probably want a heavier tractor to handle that load. The power rating and horsepower. So um, we know that tractors are evaluated for their horsepower both on the drawbar and on the PTO shaft. So a particular piece of equipment will have a horsepower requirement, and you will know, I need X amount of horsepower to use this implement. So you need to make sure the tractor that you're choosing fulfills that need. Let's talk about horsepower. Horsepower. That's a term that we've all heard of, but we probably don't exactly know what it means. Um, Horsepower is measurement used to quantify the rate at which work is being performed. So 1 horsepower equals 33,000 foot-pounds of force per minute. And that's 1 horsepower. So we need to know what our horsepower rating is for that tractor. So the tractor and machinery have to be compatible with the owner or the manager's needs in order to achieve farm efficiency. So the tractor has to be compatible with the implement, also needs to be compatible with the operator. So we measure tractors, as I said, by the number of pounds of drawbar pull, the uh, horsepower hours per unit, and then the power takeoff horsepower as well. So there's actually a formula that we take into consideration when we are calculating the actual horsepower pulling of a tractor. So basically the towing power of a tractor. So we take the pounds that we're pulling, we're multiplying it by the speed we're pulling it, and dividing that by 375. Now, this does not take slippage into consideration. Tractors most of the time are being operated on dirt or loose soil, and some slippage is going to occur. And I don't mean that you're spinning your tires. Okay, like you're stuck in the mud. No, it's not that drastic, but you don't realize it, but you are spinning somewhat as you pull that implement across the field, and you're going to lose a little bit of efficiency. So we have to take slippage into account, and the way that we do that is we take, oops, sorry. The way we do that, okay, comes to us here in a little bit when we talk about the Nebraska tractor test. Nebraska tractor test. So skip down here. So the Nebraska tractor test has been operating for more than 60 years, and it's a set of tractor power standards. Okay, and basically it got its roots back in the early 1900s, 1919, I believe. And at the time, the sale of tractors wasn't really highly regulated. There were a lot of companies that made and sold tractors, um, and some were reputable, some weren't so reputable, and it was unclear, you know, what tractors were good and what tractors weren't good. And the Nebraska tractor test was established at the University of Nebraska to basically provide a way to test those tractors and verify their quality and verify the power that they actually had compared to the power that the manufacturer advertised them as having. And Nebraska actually made it a law that any tractor model that was sold within the state of Nebraska had to be tested at the Nebraska tractor test to verify its quality. Well, it's been operating for more than 60 years, and virtually all tractors that are manufactured now and sold in the United States are tested at the Nebraska tractor test. And it's basically a test center that evaluates tractors for their quality, and it provides a very, very unbiased horsepower rating, both on drawbar and PTO horsepower for each tractor that's manufactured. So I want you to go now and watch the video on the Nebraska tractor test. It's about a 5 minute video, and it does a good job of kind of laying out what happens at the Nebraska tractor test and how they actually test those tractors. It's pretty interesting. Once you're done with that video, there are some questions that I want you to answer. Those are on Canvas, and that will be your e-learning assignment for today. So uh, keep in mind this lesson is due by Sunday, April the 19th at 11:59 p.m. Let me know if you have any questions, and enjoy your weekend. Thanks.